Hey guys, what's up? It is Flashwing, and welcome back for another Talk Tuesday today. We got a few topics to cover today, so let's get started. Let it burn slow. August 6th is our Sync the Planet ride, which is being organized by Ducati here locally. The ride is going to be taking place at approximately 3 a.m. on August 6th. I don't have a lot of specific route information because I have not synced up, no pun intended, with Ducati, who is the primary liaison for the Phoenix area for this ride. The Sync the Planet ride is basically where riders all over the world come together at a specific time, and we all do a synced ride at the same time, and then we basically produce and upload those videos so everybody can see essentially at the exact same time what different riders across the world we're doing. Some will be riding during the day. Thank God for the time period. We will be riding at night because it's very warm here. I don't know the particulars at this time. My best advice is to contact Ducati through his channel. I will link the video below where he gives you his contact information. But essentially, if you email him, he will provide you with the route and with the meeting location, which I believe is here on the east side of the city. So Sync the Planet's lots of fun. If you're local, please come out and participate. There'll be lots of motovloggers there. I will also be there. I don't know if that's a selling point or not for anybody, but I've done this ride with Ducati for the last 3 years. We started out with about 6 people. I think last year was about 6 people. It would be nice to see if we can, double or triple that number with the amount of new motovloggers that we have in the area. So if you're local, please come out August 6th, 3 a.m. Email Ducati, I believe at Gmail for the details on the ride. I will also post things on my own social media pages kind of at the last minute as I find out about them. If you're not aware, Skully is or potentially was a high-end helmet manufacturer where they were attempting to manufacture helmets that had some augmented reality capabilities, specifically a heads-up display as well as a rear-facing camera. Some rather sophisticated electronics considering where we are with helmet technology today. Unfortunately, as of right now, it looks like Skully may be out of business. And I know a lot of people have been talking about this. I wanted to bring you a couple different pieces of information because I know that there has been a lot of videos from the perspective of, these people are crooks, these people are criminals, where's my money, where's my product? This is highway robbery. I want to pour a little bit of cold water on this situation to help bring things in perspective, even more so for those of you who may be sitting on the sidelines. So one of the major sources of information that I looked at was the TechCrunch article that really chronicles in detail some of the things that have been going on over at Skully. As best as I can tell, the problem seems to be that they were about 6 months behind in their manufacturing process. In the meantime, they were trying to secure Series B funding, and so they ran out of cash. And so when you run out of cash, you can't make things, you can't pay people, and you have to scuttle the operation immediately. So it doesn't sound like they are dead. It sounds like they just can't pay anybody right now. And as a result of not being able to pay anybody, they can't have an open business. Like they can't accept pre-orders because anything that they take on at this point in time is going to be some type of a liability. And so they had to shut everything down. If a project is canceled, you literally have to run around and sound the alarm bells and tell everyone to stop working. Whatever you're doing, stop it. Stop, because that's it. The project's over. There's no more funding. No one's getting paid. No one's technically got a job. Everyone has to go home. So that's part of the reason why it's been scuttled so quickly. In addition to that, there was a comment that was left on the TechCrunch article from supposedly an engineer who talked about a lot of things that were in the hopper, but even alluding to the fact that Skully was already working on their next generation helmet that was going to be a significantly lower price point, which is what a lot of us were waiting for. I wouldn't count them out just yet. There is something else that I want to mention as well with respect to some of the pre-orders and things like that. I don't know how the situation is going to work with the pre-orders of the Skully helmet through their website, but something you need to keep in mind, especially with Indigo in particular, I know, but Kickstarter could potentially be the same thing. These are crowdsource funding websites. The purpose is essentially, instead of going to venture capitalists to raise money to create a product, they're coming to the public to do that. There's no difference in the implementation or the mission or the risk necessarily that is associated with raising capital this way. The only difference is with venture capitalists, they take a larger piece of the pie and therefore a larger piece of the risk. As a person in public, you're taking essentially very little risk and even smaller depending on how much money that you actually put into it yourself. From what I read, Indigo in their terms of service actually says that the companies are not obligated to provide the gift that is associated with your investment. So you're not actually buying anything when you go through Indigo. You are investing in a company with the potential of receiving a particular item or service as a gift from the company at the end of whatever their production run or product creation is. So you're not buying anything, you are investing. And so those of you, unfortunately, who have purchased anything through the Indigo website, you guys might be shit out of luck for your money, because it literally says in the terms of service that the companies are not obligated to provide the gift. Now, I realize that some of you out there are still going to be very upset, and that's understandable. I mean, losing money in an investment risk is never a positive thing. But I would really urge you to curtail your feelings about being robbed or stolen from. And if you think you have, I encourage you to bring a lawsuit, because, of course, that is theft. But unfortunately, what has happened here is potentially, I don't think it's a done deal yet, potentially you invested money in a company and that company went out of business and you're out of your money. It happens every day. There are businesses all over the world that start and end every single day, and people spend sometimes massive amounts of capital trying to save their business only for it to completely fold. It happens. You were not buying anything, you were investing. Kickstarter may or may not be the same way. I would suspect that it probably is very similar, but just understand that if you're making any purchases through these websites, you are investing in a company with the potential of receiving a product in the end. You're not buying anything. So please keep that in mind for any of the future investments that you make. And to be perfectly honest, if you can't part with the cash, or if you absolutely have to have the money back in the event that you don't receive your product, you really don't have any business investing on these sites, because this sort of thing can happen. It doesn't sound like Skully is totally dead. If they're able to secure Series B funding, then they may be back in operation. From what I understand, this was the single most successful Indigo campaign ever. So that should say something to investors that there is a lot of money to be spent on augmented reality technology. So I simply wanted to offer my perspective on what's going on with Skully. Hang tight. There's a potential that they may be back up in business. That could change. If it does, that's really a shame for those of you out there who have spent your money. Some of the pre-order people through their website, you guys might get your money back, but chances are if you invested through Indigo, you're probably SOL. This past weekend, it was my birthday. I just turned a ripe old age of 34. Something funny about being in your 30s, especially your mid-30s, is for some people, some of you out there in my audience, I'm, this old geezer. And for others of you in my audience, I am potentially, the same age bracket, but also I may be a young whippersnapper. It's kind of funny. But I do always really feel like it's important to celebrate birthdays. And I know that there are some people out there that just hate celebrating their birthday. Oh, God, I'm just another year older. And they hate celebrating their birthdays. I really encourage you to think about birthdays differently. I mean, yes, getting older sometimes is not a good thing. It's important to celebrate your birthday because I acknowledge the fact that there are a lot of people who didn't live to see their 34th birthday this year. Staying alive is hard work. I know that we all have the expectation that we're going to wake up tomorrow. But it was weird because yesterday I thought to myself, because I knew I was keeping things low key and I wasn't organizing stuff with my friends. And I really kind of legitimately thought to myself, what if this was your last birthday? I feel really creepy even saying this because I'm ever so slightly superstitious. But I legitimately was thinking about that. Like, what, would you want to go all out? Like, if this is your last birthday, what would you want to do? And I thought, no, I'm okay. Like, I've done lots of fun stuff on my birthdays, and everybody's come together and helped me celebrate in the past few years. And it's always been wonderful, and the experiences have always been very memorable. But no matter what, no matter what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, I feel like it's just important to acknowledge the day and to celebrate the day, because there are lots of people who don't live to see their birthday every single year. I mean, there's so many things out there that can kill you, from disease to auto accidents to, killing yourself through, smoking or drinking or eating too much, or any number of freak accidents. A very good friend of mine who lost her father because he fell and hit his head. It was a great weekend. It was a great birthday celebration. Looking forward to another wonderful, awesome year. And yeah, so I think that's about it for today, guys. I think we covered some great topics. Don't forget about Sync the Planet if you're locally. Don't count Skully out yet. Then I think that they may potentially be back, but it is definitely a long shot at this point. And don't forget to celebrate your birthday, because let's face facts, we never know if tomorrow's really going to come. So hope you guys enjoyed today's Talk Tuesday. Please leave your comments below, and as always, we'll see you out there.